All right, folks. We are going to get Monday Night Madness started in just a moment. Put your comments in the comment section right now. Like and share the show as well. We are on YouTube, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. Give us a minute. We want to share this joint so we can get y'all live and correct, get y'all the up to date, sports talk right now. I got a couple guys in here. So we're gonna talk. But give us a moment. We want to share this joint and get right. All right. Marcus, I got you. All right, got you. Let's see. My guy.
That's not the link, sir. That's not the link, sir. I need the link.
All right, I copied it here. I'm gonna give it to you. Copy the link. Send it back to you again. All right. Let me send the link as we get this going. What's up? Yeah, Derrick, I see you in the building, man. Like and share, man. Like and share. It's about to get real. All right, there we go. Now I can start sharing the link. Dalton Smith, what up? See you, my brother. Mm-hmm. All right, there go the link, Marcus. Oop. The link, Jamal. Oop.
Appreciate it.
Shared the link to you guys, both of you guys. Now we can share the show coming up. All right. All right, everybody got the link?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I shared it up.
Good deal. All right. Marcus, you got the link, right?
I got it.
All right, good.
Got a little time before this Rams and Cardinals game.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of wanted to do a viewing too, kind of like a watch in, see what people got to say about the game going, just like maybe a quarter or so. But I don't know if that's what y'all want to do. We could do that. But all right. Welcome, everybody. Monday Night Madness is in the building. You know what it is. I'm Andre the Torch Robinson. The fire starter is here with my brothers in the building. Of course, we're going to get to some great sports talk coming up. We're going to talk about the NFL wild card game. Nevertheless, let me start by introducing first, though. Nevertheless, my brother from Friday nights. I mean, this guy is got all the Friday night lights on him for sure. Tune into the Alphabet Bits football show. Marcus the Alphabets is in the house. What up?
What's poppin', fam? They thought I was gonna go into Hardy, and they thought it was yoga, man. They thought I was Yoda, and I was gonna go into hiding on the planet Dagobah, man. That's what they thought.
Yeah, they thought that. They thought wrong, though. Now, my guy right here, Alfred State University. Alfred University. Oh, you can't say Alfred State. Oh, yes, you can't say Alfred State. You got to say Alfred University. There's a difference, okay? Alfred University, the Alfred University, student athlete. He also be on the radio shows, Power 96.5. Jamal Lewis Jr., what's good, man? He already got a football name to him already, too. So Jamal Lewis, what's going on?
That's a good name, man. That's a good name.
I appreciate it. My dad gave it to me.
Yes, sir. Now, we are going to talk about these divisional games, man. And yes, a lot of Bulls was on parade, and a lot of teams took dirt naps. Let me start. I look at his face already. You see his face is a serious face down there. He like, Andre. He would have said,
it's look, I don't hide, dude. I don't hide. You got some people that when they lose, they go into hiding.
Yes, they do.
They lose wagers, they go into hiding. But when they win, they're talking and doing backflips and stuff. Win, lose, or draw, man. Show up.
That's right.
That's a weak move, man. Whenever you lose, and then you go into hiding, And don't be throwing $8 beers at people on the way out the gym either, man. That's dumb. Beer is too expensive. Look, I don't drink beer like that, okay? I'm not a beer drinker like that. But I've never understood the concept of when people are mad, they start throwing beer, $8, $9, $10 beers at people. That's the dumbest crap ever, man. I'm not throwing $8 beer.
And a waste of money, by the way. And a waste of money. For sure. But let's get into some of these games, shall we get into the Cowboys game first?
Let's do it.
Do we need to talk about the 49ers? All right. You know what? I got two Cowboys fans in here. We might as well start with that one. Let's start with the Cowboys and 49ers game.
Why don't you start with the first game of the day?
Today,
right? Be polite, right?
No, the first game yesterday wasn't that the Eagles and the Bucks game?
No, who wants to kick off a show talking about the Eagles? Nobody want to start off. We don't want to talk about the SHEAGLE Sheagles. Nobody wants to talk about the Sheagles. Okay, nobody wants to talk about them first. We don't talk about your team, the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? Michael Strahan said it best. I said, how about them Cowboys? Let's talk about them. Let's talk about the Cowboys versus the 49ers. Now, you guys, what did y'all expect from this game? And, I need to know. What did y'all expect from this game and how y'all feel about it, man? It's a sad day. Sad day.
Look, here's the bottom line. Football is the epitome of a team game, and you have to be disciplined when you play football. Okay, generally the people who are more disciplined, that's in any sport. Whoever's the more disciplined person is going to generally win. I am my heart of life. That it is. It doesn't look the person who sits up and drinks beer all day and sits around and watches cartoon and rubs on his belly and doesn't do anything is not going to generally be as successful as a person who gets up every day, goes to the gym, does his homework on time. You're a student right now, Jamal. When you're undisciplined, you're generally not going to win. The boxer who gets up in the morning and does his road work and jumps rope and does his sparring, that's the guy who generally wins. The guy who doesn't do his road work, doesn't do his training, he doesn't generally win. Sometimes you can because you're just talented. But when you start getting to the upper echelons, you can do that in the regular season. But when you get to the postseason, whatever bad habits that you have in the regular season, if you take those same habits with you into the playoffs, it's going to be a quick trip. The bottom line is with the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan. I make no qualms about that. When they do good, I'm happy. When they're bad, I will roast their ass just like I would any other team. They've been undisciplined all year, and what happened was it caught up to them yesterday. When Connor Williams is getting run over and getting holding calls, when Randy Gregory is holding and tackling people, it catches up to you. You cannot do that. Do I believe Jimmy Garoppolo's better than Dak Prescott? Nope. No. I don't. I don't think Jimmy G is better than do I believe the San Francisco 49ers have a better wide receiver core than the Dallas Cowboys? No. Running back core, I like Elijah, but are they better? But is Elijah Mitchell better than Zeke and Pollard? No. I would say the only place where they really had a definitive advantage over us was tight end. I believe George Kittle's the second best tight end in the league behind Kelsey. So but talent means nothing if you're not disciplined. When you're not disciplined, when you get into a fight, when you're getting into a street fight, when you're getting into a boxing match, when you're in any type of competition, the person who's able to keep their composure and be disciplined will generally win. And that has been a problem with the Cowboys since Bill Parcells and Jimmy Johnson. That's been their problem. Jason Garrett wasn't a disciplinarian. Dave Campo and all those coaches that they had in between after Jimmy Johnson, they weren't disciplinarians. So,
how do you feel about this game, though?
Undisciplined. I still, in my heart of hearts, believe that the Cowboys are a better team talent-wise than the San Francisco 49ers. I believe that. I don't think Jimmy G is a very good quarterback. And I think next week he's going to get exposed for the fraud that he is. Because when they draft a quarterback with the number 2 or number 3 pick, was it the 3rd pick in the draft? Mm-hmm. Trey Lance went number 3, bro. You need to start selling your house and stuff because you ain't going to be there. But what Shanahan does is make the game plan very simple for him. We're going to run the football. We're going to move Deebo Samuel around. We're going to give you a good tight end where you can drop it off. And we're going to play good defense. Don't turn the ball over. That's what he does. He's a better coach than Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan. I'm like, what are you doing? The play calling? I'm going. Now, some of it was because of the being undisciplined.
You mean Kyle Shanahan?
Kyle Shanahan. Did I say Mike? Kyle. Yeah. Kyle, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
That's okay.
But you can't make those type of mistakes. You cannot make those type of mistakes. And you can make those mistakes against the Eagles. And Eagles fans, I love y'all. I love a lot of Eagles fans. But I got Eagles fans sending me memes. Bro, we just put 50 on you last week. Okay? 50.
That's okay. They taking the dirt nap too.
We put 50 on you last week, and we didn't play our players. Okay, that's cool. Okay, we put 41 on you in the first time we played in week 3, 41-21. So I don't want to hear it. Don't be leaving me no memes, and you're picking in the top 10. Don't leave me no memes. You're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan. You're leaving me memes in my inbox. What's the matter with you, man? Don't do that. But I want to hear what Jamal has to. Go ahead, Jamal. I just had to rant there for a minute.
Honestly, I feel like, the question that Torch asked is, what did I expect? I expected San Fran to be extremely physical because they have football players and they have good coaching and good schemes. So off top, I'm like, all right, we're playing a very good and physical team. They use their pieces. And that's what I like on any team that I've been on, or that's any good coaches that I've been around, offense or defense. It's usually not the scheme that makes the team good. It's playing off of the player's strengths, and that's what they did. They showed the Cowboys and the world last night that they have the pieces and the coaching to be able to put people in place to do what they need to do. But from a Cowboys perspective, I 100% agree with everything you just said as far as discipline, because it's like you got guys jumping off sides, you got guys holding, you got Zeke holding the ball a little too long, and he got guys in his face every down. They coming after him. So disappointed, disappointed overall.
Let me say one more thing too. Now it was reported that Ezekiel Elliott had a partially torn PCL. Why the hell are you on the field then? Even Stevie Wonder could see that you're not the same back that you were. Everybody sees that.
For the last 10
everybody
weeks.
sees that Tony Pollard is more explosive than you. He's quicker. He's got a little bit more juice. Why in the hell? Look, and to me, that's coaching right there. You know, my coach used to say, he's like, that's, everybody's a little hurt. But when you're injured and you can't run, you're a running back. If you're a running back that can't run, that's like a quarterback that can't throw. It's like, come on, or wide receiver that can't catch. I mean, that's part of the job description. You're a running back who's limping around, and look, this is where the team building comes into. When you start paying people, and I know I was on record for this. We had a somebody who we used to, go back and forth with, and I told everybody was saying to pay Dak Prescott. Oh man, you need to pay him. And I Torch, what did I say? Do you remember what I said?
You don't want him to pay. You don't want to pay Dak Prescott. But before we get into anything else, I should have mentioned this in the very beginning. Happy Martin Luther King Day to everybody, because without Martin Luther King Jr., this wouldn't have been possible for some of us, for most of us, for all of us that's of the culture. It wouldn't be possible. So happy Martin Luther King Day to everybody. Don't let that day be, smoke screened by the blizzards thereof that we've had in the northern states. We definitely dealing with winter storms up here where people can't even get out. So happy Martin Luther King Day to everybody. And go back to what you were saying, Marcus.
No, look, you put the best players out on the field. If you're saying that you're well enough to play, then I expect you to play well. Okay? If you're out there limping and you can't do what you normally do, then look, sometimes you're like hurting the team. It's like, look, coach, I want to be out there. I'm not good enough to go out there and give you, I'll give you whatever I can, but I'm, maybe you cut down my carries, But part of it too is that.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but when you do that as a coach, you're being counterproductive to the scheme. If you even have a scheme. If you're scheming based off of someone that is injured or can't do his job correctly in general, just like last year, if he was fumbling in a situation where last season he's fumbling too much, he's doing this, that. Why would you play him through that? So why would you play him through an injury? It hurts the scheme.
Well,
it makes no sense.
Well, part of it too is team build. Is when you're building a team. You see all of these coaches, this past Monday they got fired. The way that you construct your team, that has a lot to do with your success too. Okay? When you're paying your quarterback $40 million, okay, and you're paying your quarterback 15 to 20% of your salary cap, he's got to be that guy. Do you think that the Kansas City Chiefs have any reservation about paying Patrick Mahomes what they're paying him?
Nope.
No, you've already given us a championship. We're the two-time AFC champions. It is what it is. Whatever somebody goes and pays Aaron Rodgers, do you think they're going to have any issues paying Aaron Rodgers whatever he wants? No. You're just not. Ezekiel Elliott's the second highest paid running back in the league. The second highest paid behind Christian McCaffrey. Okay? $16 million a year. For $16 million a year, I need you to be Derrick Henry.
And isn't he a $30 million cap hit coming up?
He is. Now if they cut him, I believe if they cut him post June 1, he's they can save $11 million. They really got to look at that. They really got to look at they're going to have to like look at some of their players in this offseason and make some serious business decisions as far as like, who they're paying. Because that's the other thing too. It's like, if I'm paying this guy here, okay, I'm paying you this much money, then I can't go get this over here what I need. They need a new left guard for sure. Because Connor Williams is This guy's getting walked right back into Dak Prescott, getting walked back. Tyron Smith can't stay. I love Tyron Smith. You know, great player. He's been on the team for 10 years. He's always hurt. You know, you cannot waste people's prime. You know, you can't do it. You can't do it. So congratulations to the 49ers. You know, it pissed me off, but congratulations. They did what they had to do. I don't want to hear anything about, you know, officiating. You know, the officiating has been terrible all year. Look, don't put yourself in situations where you got to go and draw the ball down the field. And they still had an opportunity to win the game. But when Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore called that damn quarterback sneak the last one, they should have been fired on the spot. Any kid playing Madden on easy mode knows that you don't run a damn quarterback sneak to the middle of the field when you ain't got no timeouts left.
Now I got a question for you. I have a question. I have a very important question. At least it's important to me because it's been on my mind ever since. So you got 3 timeouts left, and you got the 2-minute warning approaching, and it's 2nd and 11, and you snap the ball instead of just chilling. Just chill, go into the 2-minute warning, get you a play. No, you go for it. You try to beat the clock, get a play off. Now it's 3rd and 11. You got to go through 3rd and 11.
They could have ran another play. They could have ran another play before the 2-minute warning.
They did.
I'm like,
That's the problem.
You could have ran another play before the 2-minute warning. The clock is going to stop after the play for the 2-minute warning. So it's basically like you got 3 timeouts. What are you doing?
4.
It's like, yeah, you know,
4 timeouts. You had 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. That's why the question I'm asking you is, let me not even a question. What I'm saying is that I feel like that's a pivotal moment in the game because we just get a first down on a big throw, and we hurry up and run it, and then we hurry up and run it again, and now we're in a 3rd and 11 situation with 2 minutes left.
They were behind the sticks the whole night. When you're 3rd and 11, there's enough blame to go around for everybody. But I heard somebody like, "Oh, look at that play calling." What play do you call for 3rd and 28? Give me a play for 3rd and 28. What do you call for that? What play do you call?
Triple post.
You know? When you're 2nd and 17 and 3rd and 28, 3rd and 19, what do you call?
Trip post.
You know, it's like come on, man. You know,
there's a play for 3rd and 19. I mean, if your playbook wide enough, but I guess Dallas playbook wasn't wide enough for 3rd and 19. I mean, you got weapons. See, here's the thing, Marcus, and I get what you're saying and everything. They were definitely undisciplined. And shout out to my guy Tyrell Howard that just entered the building. 49ers fan, by the way. So get ready.
Perfect timing too.
Absolutely, from New York. My guy from the Bronx, Tyrell Howard, the original Yelpers in the building. But Marcus, I got to say this. Y'all got a whole lot of talent. Defense was top 5 this year, correct? Offense is on the go. Dak just, entered the playoffs after putting up 50 to the Eagles. And I'm like, and me and Jamal had this conversation on the radio. Me and Jamal had it on the radio. And I was like, Jamal, let's make a little wager.
But you know what's crazy though?
I said, I said, I don't know why I have this inkling feeling, but I thought that the 49ers was going to beat them. And not because I like Jimmy G, because I'm not a big fan of Jimmy G, but he's not even a fan of Jimmy G, and he's a 49ers fan. But because of the physical nature thereof, and then the pedigree of playoff in the last couple of years. Marcus, you love to use that word pedigree. Playoff pedigree, right?
And I'm not talking about the dog food neither.
Right.
But the problem is you can't compare the Eagle defense to a 49er defense.
You can't.
You put 50 points up on the Eagles defense. That's the Eagles defense. 49ers defense, with the fact that the 49ers still was able to win the game after losing 3 key defensive players, still says something to the 49ers as a team as a whole.
Yeah.
Definitely losing Bosa, definitely
losing Warner.
Losing Bosa and Fred Warner definitely hurt. But again, I'm gonna be. To me, this was a coaching this was a difference in coaching because I stand by this. I feel like the Cowboys are a better talented team than the San Francisco 49ers. I stand on that. I really do believe that in my heart of hearts. But when you're undisciplined, and you keep making stupid mistakes, Jimmy G, let's keep it a buck. Jimmy G can mess up a glass of ice water.
You are absolutely
He can mess
right.
up a glass of ice water. He is the weakest link on that team. You could, man, I'm telling you,
That pass he put to the interception was unnecessary.
Part of that too was y'all got to look at Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan has been known. Okay, let's keep it a buck. He's been known to give up leads. Why are you throwing the ball? I wouldn't throw the ball anymore the rest of the game. You did that in Atlanta. You did that in the Super Bowl against
I just talked about that earlier.
Eventually, it's like sometimes these coaches, man, they be trying to reinvent the wheel, bro. I'm like, bro, run the ball.
The problem with Shanahan is such a quarterback's coach that he wants all the credit when his quarterbacks do good. The same thing with Kaepernick. Now he's doing the same thing with Jimmy G. The problem is Jimmy G is not a starter quarterback.
He's not.
He cannot handle the pressure.
He's not. But I mean, I don't think that Trey Lance was ready to play this year. So you're kind of like, he's a raw prospect. I interviewed him coming out of North Dakota State during the pro games, and he's a good kid. But he wasn't ready to play. I would have. And to go where you need to go, look, the teams that generally have success, they have good quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. You look at all the teams that are left in the playoffs. Look at the teams that were in the playoffs. Look at the teams in the playoffs and look at their quarterback. You look at the Josh Allens. You look at the Patrick Mahomeses. You look at the Aaron Rodgers. You look at the Tom Brady's. What's the discrepancy there? And look, we'll see what happens next week. Jimmy G to me was maybe one of the worst quarterbacks in the playoffs. But when you got a good supporting cast, and I think his coaches, they know it's like, dude, look, Jimmy, don't mess this up. Jimmy, don't mess this up. It's the same thing that Belichick tells Mac Jones. Look, Mac, we're gonna run the ball. We're gonna play good defense. Don't turn the ball over. And Jimmy still does it. He still does it, but they did what they had to do. They ran the ball, and when you're able to run the ball in the playoffs, you always got a chance, especially when you run, and when you have a unicorn type player in Debo.
Yes, he is a special type of player.
Debo is a unicorn type player because how do you prepare for this guy?
You don't.
You can't.
It's like he's a running back. He's a running back. He's a wide receiver. They line him up in the slot. They line him up outside. They line him up in the back. But you got to know where this guy is every time. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he's a playmaker, man.
Looking at him run the ball yesterday, he don't look like he's not a conventional running back in the sense where if you look at a certain running back will have a certain way in which he runs the field. There was one play where he ran to the sideline and then he realized there was nothing there. He found a way to get to the middle and then ran into the end zone. So he's changing directions as he has the ball in his hand. He's thinking as he has the ball. I feel like a lot of running backs are just one direction. I think he just thinks on the fly.
Well, he's a playmaker, and it's hard to, in college they have a term for guys like him. They call him a weapon. He's an offensive weapon. It's kind of like in basketball. Back in the day, you used to have point guard and two guard and small forward and power forward and center. Now you got positionless basketball. Same thing in football. You got a guy. In college, what do they call guys? When they put on there like the description for it, they put athlete. That means we might put them at punt returner. We might put them at kick returner. We might put them at cornerback. We might put them at running back. Athlete. That's what they put them as.
I'd like to say this though. His talent, having him there, anything means nothing without the scheme. Like you have to use those type of players in order to get to where you want to be. Because it's very easy for him to just be in the slot. and them not use him.
But that's
to
what
his
makes him so
strengths.
that's what makes him so dangerous. If you look at a team like Atlanta, that's kind of like the same way that they use Cordell Patterson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think you're going to start seeing teams just kind of do like that. It's like, is he a running back? Is he a wide receiver? He's got the build of he's 5'11", like 212, 215. He's as big as Tony Pollard. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, when he gets the ball in his hand, you know, his daddy named him Debo. You know, give my bike, punk. You know, he runs just like that. So again, you know, hats off to the 49ers. They did what they had to do. They played a very physical style of running, you know. And what happened is it caught up to the Cowboys, you know. I tell people all the time, who you play matters. You know, if you have a boxer who's 50-0 and he's fighting a bunch of tomato cans, and you got a guy who's 23 and 2, and he's fought championship level fighters his whole time, that guy is going to be the guy with 23 wins is going to be a little bit better because he's had stiffer competition. Mm-hmm. You see it in college football. You know, we just saw it a couple of weeks ago in college football with Cincinnati and Cincinnati. I still say the SEC is the best football conference in the country. Okay, I think that's indisputable now. But you're an undefeated team. What conference is Cincinnati? Bearcats. By the way, what the hell is a Bearcat? You're undefeated. You're undefeated in your little conference, and then when you come to play against the big boys in the Power 5 conferences, you get your teeth kicked in.
You become a Cub.
You become a tomato can, and what you do to tomato cans, you kick them down the street. So again, hey, congratulations, man! I tip my cap. Pat Freeman's in the house.
Yes, the mighty Oba's in the house. What's going on, Pat Freeman, the legend? The legendary, the GOAT.
Hey Dre, I wanted to address something. I saw something in a comment. He said, let me see here. Benjamin Ben, he said, I need to hear. He wanted to hear my thoughts on Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is the Mark McGuire of cornerbacks. He's hit or miss. Either he's gonna hit a grand slam home run, or he's gonna strike out 40 times. That's what he is. He takes way too many chances. And the Cowboys actually got lucky on that one where Ayuk was wide open and Jimmy G missed him.
Overthrew it. That was a touchdown.
That was a touchdown. Mm-hmm. You actually got, stuff like that, and it don't show up on the stat board, but Diggs was getting cooked all night. He was getting cooked. Because he just, he made All-Pro. And I'm sure he's feeling himself right now because he's all pro. But there were people that were, like Darius Big Play Slay from the Eagles. He's like, I only got 3 interceptions, but this dude gave up 1,200 yards. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the entirety. You can't just look at, he had 11, 12 interceptions, but man, he's giving up, 1,000. He's giving up 1,000 yards, getting cooked, on deep routes and stuff.
I think a lot of credit doesn't go to the 49ers secondary yesterday too. Because they held the wide receivers in check for most of the game.
No catches for 3 whole quarters. CD
exactly.
Over there, nothing.
Yeah, and the 49ers secondary isn't always the best, but yesterday they came out. They showed out yesterday. They did what they had to do for the most part.
It makes it easier when your team is backed up, though. When you playing with 2nd and 28.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's making it a lot more cushion back there for them.
Yeah, of course.
I thought yesterday, and I'm not saying this is the only reason. Look, I don't do moral victories. I don't do moral victories, but I thought that the Cowboys yesterday, they really, really missed Michael Gallup. I thought missing Michael Gallup there, because now when you have Gallup out there, he creates a bunch of they're really missing that speed element yesterday. He's their deep threat, and I don't Cooper can run a little bit and CD can run a little bit, but they can't run like Michael Gallup can run.
No.
So again, the physicality of the 49ers, that first drive when they just came out and just ran the ball down the Cowboys, I was like, okay. You know, and then I was like, okay, let's see what their defense does. And then they were 3 and out, and you can't do that. You know, you can't do that. They made a nice, you know, comeback towards the end, and people are complaining about the officiating and stuff. But it's like you shouldn't have been in that situation.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. The Cowboys the Cowboys beat themselves, and hearing about Mike McCarthy being on a hot seat, it also makes you wonder the question before about Aaron Rodgers or him as well. I talked to you about this, Marcus. I said, yo, you went on another team with a better defense, with a top 5 defense, a whole lot of talent, and still can't get past the first and second round. What's going on? Like, and people get a little annoyed when I say dirt nap, but I'm saying dirt nap for a reason.
Here's the other thing too, Torch. Here's the other thing too. Since Mike McCarthy got fired, Aaron Rodgers might be the back-to-back MVP with Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur went 13-3 3 seasons in a row. That should speak volumes for somebody who was 20th in offense as an offensive coordinator in Tennessee.
You
a whole lot.
Yeah. So you and Aaron Rodgers had issues, and since you've left, he's won 2 MVPs.
Yeah,
it's like I always say, Torch. If everywhere you go there's an issue, maybe it ain't everybody else. Maybe you're the one common denominator in all of that, man. So again, I tip my hat to the 49ers, man. Good luck next week. You know, y'all did y'all's thing, you know, and you know, hey, go out there and go. Look, the main thing is the 49ers barely made the playoffs. You know, if the Rams beat them last week, they're not even in the playoffs.
That is true.
The damn Saints are. But the thing is, once you get in,
anybody can win.
Just get into the tournament, and you got a chance, man. So congratulations to them. What they did to get into the playoffs and beating the Rams to get in.
We already forgot about the Cowboys too.
You know, so congratulations, man. Go do your thing.
All right. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in right now. This is Monday Night Madness. You got the original Yelper here, Tyrell Howard in the building, Jamal Lewis, Alfred University scholars. Listen, student athlete and scholar. You always smile, but I gotta give props where props is due, man. When you play sports and you keep your grades like this guy keeps his grades, you deserve to be mentioned every single time.
Hey, right? It's student athlete, not athlete student. Do your thing, young man.
Absolutely. And then of course you got Marcus the Alphabets here. Friday Night Lights. That's his new nickname for me. Friday Night Lights, Mr. Friday Night Lights himself. And then I'm, the fire starter, the torch. The game has started, folks. Arizona has the ball first. I wasn't going to talk about this game because we got other games to talk about, but Arizona has the ball first. Just to give you an update, 3rd and 6 at their 29-yard line. The Rams. Who did you guys actually have for this game before
Arizona winning?
Anybody scoring? Who did everybody have? Because I want to put this on wax.
We got Arizona.
I picked it on Friday night. I picked the Rams to win. I thought that the Rams. Look, without DeAndre Hopkins, I don't see the Cardinals winning this game, man. The Cardinals have looked really bad. They've looked really bad about the past 3 weeks. And the Cardinals are doing what the Cardinals have been doing, which is they have a great regular season, or they start off 6-0 and then they crash and burn. I just think the Rams are a better team. I could see Von Miller and Aaron Donald getting after Kyler Murray, and they just don't have threats on the outside. They don't have a consistent running game. James Conner has been a little bit banged up, and I just don't see them with AJ Green and Rondale Moore beating the Rams. I don't see it.
Jamal, who'd you have, my brother?
I'm gonna go against the grain just because.
Going against the grain. Now, who would that be?
The Cardinals. Why not?
Oh, taking the Cardinals. Okay. Interesting enough. This is what I got to say about this game real quick as it's going on right now. First and foremost, the Cardinals, one of the better road teams in the league, 8-1 on the road. They were undefeated. Wow, and this is something that sticks out, resonates to me. Cardinals, damn near undefeated on the road. And they played some good teams this year on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler Murray was looking really good. People was like, yo, he's better than Russell Wilson. You heard all that talk this year. You heard he should be MVP earlier in the season. You heard that talk. And then we heard the talk about Matthew Stafford on the other end. We heard about Matthew Stafford being a better QB in LA. We heard about the Rams, but I also told you that the Rams, to me, are one of the most overrated 12-5 teams in the league. I also said this, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, I feel like who you play matters. Two, they haven't won a lot of big games that matter. And three, there has been some exposure to this Rams team. All right. You can beat them in certain areas. All right. If you're running on the outside, if you're sweeping and pitching on the outside, you can beat the Rams to the outside. The passing game, there's some issues. I mean, Jalen Ramsey, I haven't even heard his name a whole lot this year. Have you? I didn't hear his name a whole lot this year. And maybe some of that is because they don't throw to his side. Maybe because they're not throwing to him like that. But I haven't heard his name like I usually would in other years, you know. So with that being said, I see the Cardinals and what they doing, but I'm going to take the Rams, okay? I'm going to take the Rams in this one. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be like a 31-28 game. But Eric Manzuck, yes, I'm calling you out, sir. Eric Manzuck. If your team lose to the Arizona Cardinals this week at home, I want you front and center, sir.
Report.
You always talk about these Rams. Now I'm believing in your Rams to have their Bulls on parade and actually get to the divisional round. But if they don't do it, sir, and they take a dirt nap, we got a problem. All right. I want to talk about the Raiders and Bengals game. How do you guys like that game? Were you surprised? Was there more you was expecting?
It went exactly the way that I thought. The Raiders, I give a lot of props to the Raiders for everything that they've overcome this year. They've had a lot of controversy, and for them to still be able to make the playoffs and just kind of fight through and then basically to have a playoff game, the last regular season game against the Chargers, who I believe is an up-and-coming team. I think this offseason, I think you see a whole lot with the Chargers. But to beat the Chargers and get in there after the John Gruden controversy, after the Henry Ruggs, after the cornerback who was threatening people, I forget his name, Arnett, Damon Arnett, is that his name? The kid out of Ohio State, the cornerback. They just had a lot of things going on for them to still be able to do, to make it. But the Bengals are one of the young and upcoming team. We're kind of seeing the change in the guard. I did a piece on Alphabet's Big called the Young Guns, and I was talking about we're starting to see the transition from some of the older quarterbacks in the league. This was probably Big Ben's last ride. We just saw Drew Brees retire last year. Phillip Rivers, Brady ain't got much longer. Aaron Rodgers probably got a couple more years left, and we're starting to see the change in the guard of the quarterbacks. You got the Josh Allens and the Patrick Mahomeses and the Joe Burrows and the Trevor Lawrences and the Justin Herberts, and you're just starting to see that transition. So Joe Burrow and those receivers that he has, they will give anybody issues. I believe Jamar Chase. I believe Jamar Chase is going to be the offensive rookie of the year. I wouldn't have a problem with Joe Burrows being the comeback player of the year after tearing his ACL his rookie season. I was against them drafting Jamar Chase. I thought they should have went offensive line.
They got Penei Sewell.
I thought that they should have went Penei Sewell. When I did my mock draft, that's who I got. But it seems to have worked out for them. And they're going to be a hard out for anybody. I don't think their defense is that good, but they can score with anybody. They can put 40, 50 points on the board easy. So whoever's got them next, man, I think who do they play next week? I know it's the Bills and the Chiefs.
Tennessee
Tennessee versus Cincinnati next week.
Yes.
So Tennessee's cornerback, Tennessee secondary better get ready, man, because them boys can put. Now I do believe they get back Derrick Henry, but Cincinnati, man, they are high flying, very explosive offense. So we'll see what happens.
Jamar, talk about this game a little bit.
Well, for sure, I like how the Bengals really dictate pace. They dictate pace because they're able to hand the ball off to Joe Mixon, and you have somebody that's a real field general at the helm, and Joe Burrow. He's making things happen out there. And when you have a guy like Jamar Chase that has for sure hands, like I see a lot of different receivers, younger guys around the league. They drop a ball here or there. Even people that's been in the league for an extended amount of time, they're dropping balls. But it's like it's something beautiful about a Burrow to Jamar Chase back shoulder. It's every time he catching it. He catching the ball every chance he get. So they have a chance to go a long way, but their offensive line is a little iffy on the cage.
Well, that's how his season ended last year because they weren't able to protect him, and that's why I was thinking I was against the Jamar Chase pick originally. I thought they should have drafted Penei Sewell, but the thing about it is he gets rid of the ball so quick. He's got a little bit of mobility, and they're also able to run the football. So, again, I think they're an up and coming team. I still think they got some more pieces they need to put around them, especially while he's still on his rookie deal. But man, they got a very explosive offense.
Let's talk a little real quick. You guys, let's talk a little bit about organizational moves. I want to know what you guys think that these two teams need to do to get better next season as the season goes for the next, up and coming years to come. What do they need to do this season coming up in the off season?
As far as what team is that?
We'll talk about the Raiders first.
The Raiders they messed up. Today they fired their GM, Mike Mayock. They fired him today. So he made some bad picks. He made you drafted Henry Ruggs over Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, and Justin Jefferson. That right there will get you fired in most circles. You made some. You drafted Damon Arnett in the second round. They made McClellan, Clemson. I mean, they drafted him early. He made some bad picks. And the thing about it, when you make bad picks early in the draft, these are guys you're stuck with. You drafted Henry Ruggs like a top 5, top 6. And he's not on your team. You just cut him. When Justin Jefferson was sitting on the board, so a lot of the stuff they're going to have in their draft, they're going to have to make up for. Is Derrick Carr that guy? To me, he's been in the league 8 years and doesn't have any playoff wins. They need receivers. Hunter Renfrow, he's all right. Darren Waller, he's outstanding, but he can't stay healthy. Josh Jacobs is okay. Their defense, they need a lot. They need a lot. Are you going to stick with Bisaccia? Now you got to get a GM. I've heard about them going and getting the guy from ESPN, Louis Riddick. I've heard some discussion. Louis Riddick, I think he would be a nice pickup for them, but they got a lot of work to do because you got to see the Chiefs twice a year. Chargers up and coming, who has the most salary cap space who has the most salary cap space next year with Justin Herbert. So, they got a lot of work to do. First things first, they better find them a GM and then decide, if they want to move forward with Derrick Carr. I keep calling him Derrick Carr. And as far as the Bengals, go ahead, Jamal. I'm sorry.
I definitely agree with most of what you're saying as far as the Raiders go. As an organization, they took a hit at a lot of different areas just in this past year alone. Coaches, players, back office, front office. It's like they can't catch a break. So, as far as personnel wise, I definitely agree. Is Carr that guy moving forward? Is that who you want to be your franchise quarterback moving forward? Like, I feel like the Raiders are a team that needs leadership. They need leadership, mentorship, and all positions, and just as an organization in general. It's like they can't get right. Like, yes, storybook ending as far as how the season goes. Like, you're not doing too well, and then you go on the streak, and you try like that kind of puts a blanket over everything that you went through. But does it really? Because now, like you just said, you don't have a GM, you don't have a head coach, like, for certain. Like, you don't have a receiver core. You had to go reach back and get guys like Deshaun Jackson. Like, you need pieces. They need a lot of pieces around the board, and they need somebody that's gonna be in charge of making decisions for the betterment of that franchise.
All right, interesting enough. Here's what I think needs to happen as far as the Raiders. The Raiders need to get some cornerstone players at the key positions of importance. First and foremost, at the corner position, they need a real legitimate corner. I don't see a real legitimate corner over there. I mean, True font is true font is true font. True font is a true font. You can write all over them if you want, depending on the certain talent level. Secondly, they need a legitimate linebacking core. I don't think they have enough linebacking core. Max Crosby is probably the most legitimate defender on that team.
He's an edge rusher.
At the edge rusher position. So you need to get you some cornerstone pieces at those positions. I feel like if you had a cornerstone at each level, it helps. It helps a lot. And I think that's something they need to work on. Secondly, Derrick Carr. Derrick Carr threw for almost 5,000 yards this year. And who is his receiving core?
Yeah,
I hear a lot of people talk smack about Derrick Carr, but I still just want to know, like, who is his receiving core? If he goes and gets himself another Amari Cooper like he had in past, I think the Raiders will be better off. I think it is a formality to think that Derrick Carr should be gone. Not to say that Derrick Carr is an elite quarterback. He's not. He's not an elite quarterback, but is he above average at this point? I would say so. And who are you getting out of the draft who is going to be a guy who's going to come in for the Raiders and then pick up right where you left off? Because right now, the Raiders just made the playoffs. They're in between playoff team, playoff contender, and rebuild. Are we rebuilding again? Are the Raiders going to rebuild again? I would hope not. I would hope that they build on what they have. Mike Mayock getting his position out of privilege. Most people would say. I think you get a better GM who's better at the football operations position, who can make real decisions in Vegas. And I think Vegas could get upstarted even more. I think Vegas could win a playoff game maybe in a year or two. I just don't know anymore about, just getting rid of veteran quarterbacks, man, and trying that draft stuff, man. I mean, DraftKings is for us. Okay, DraftKings is supposed to be for GMs who know what they're talking about, but you also sometimes got to be a DraftKing and be like, hey, you know what? We ain't giving up veteran leadership for the newest up-and-coming guy coming out of college all the time. It worked with Joe Burrow, obviously. It worked with Joe Burrow. It worked with the Chargers organization getting the young upstart Justin Herbert. But does it work? What is the percentage of that actually working? Marcus, you're a guy who talks about retreads a lot. do you want to give up veteran leadership for a retread?
I mean, no, but here's the thing about it. Eventually it gets to the point where it's like you have to face the music and be like, this is a rebuild. This is a rebuild. We got to start from ground zero. Like you look at the Houston Texans without Deshaun Watson. They're a rebuild. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It's a rebuild. They're starting from ground zero.
They don't care. The
Raiders were lucky to do what they did this year. And like I said, you have the two-time AFC champion in your division. You have a young up-and-coming superstar who I believe he's going to be a superstar in Justin Herbert, who has the most salary cap space going into the offseason. Okay? And you barely made it into the playoffs. Justin Herbert's in his second year. And I mean, you see what he did. So you get to the point where it's like, okay, we have so many holes in our team. We need receivers. We need linebackers. We need secondary help. I mean, look, there's only so much you can do in the draft, and then there's only so much money, with the salary cap. So, I mean, you get to the point where you have to look in the mirror and you have to really, do a thorough self-examination. To be the team that we want to be, we have to make these changes here. I think they're a few years away. I think it's going to be the Chargers and the Chiefs battling for the next 8 to 10 years. And Derrick Carr's in his 8th year and hasn't won a playoff game. So, it's tough sledding, and I like the Raiders, that silver and black. I think, rest in peace to John Madden. I think about John Madden, I think, just win, baby. But they got a lot of things that they have to work out over there. So we'll see what happens.
All right. We can move on to another game. Let's talk about, obviously, this game. We got to talk about the Bills and Patriots game. You might as well talk about it, right? Talk about this Bills-Patriots game. If I told you 2 days ago that the Buffalo Bills would have the perfect game in a playoff game against top 3 defense in the New England Patriots, how many people would have raised their hand and said, yeah, I can see that happening? How many of y'all? Nobody, right? Nobody. But there was one guy, and I got to shout him out. Paul Robinson, shout out to you, my brother. He was on the live feed that went viral while I was at the game and quoted that the Bills would beat the Patriots 48-17. And I'm like, how? Where?
I saw that too.
And then it happened.
I saw that exact
what?
thing.
I'm like, what? Whoa. Marcus, Jamal, tell me how y'all felt. I mean, you already know how I feel.
It's a great win. It's a great win for the Patriots, but I think we need to put it into perspective. And I know I'm going to take heat rounds for it. That's fine. I get them all the time. You beat a rookie quarterback, like we just said about the Cowboys running through the NFC East. You ran through the AFC East. You play the Jets twice a year. You play the Dolphins, who just fired their coach twice a year. And you play 2 rookie quarterbacks in your own division. You played Zach Wilson and you played Mac Jones twice. Mac Jones, the first time he plays, he throws for three passes and beats you. So look, you did what you're supposed to do. You went out there. It seems like there's some animosity between those two, especially between Belichick and McDermott. But keep it in perspective. You beat a rookie quarterback making his first playoff. And I did a piece on Alabama quarterbacks. I've never been sold on Alabama quarterbacks. I say all the time, when you have 5-star Under Armour All-Americans at every position, Mac Jones played with Najee Harris, Judy, Devontae Smith, and Waddle. That was who he played with in college. And you go from that to the Patriots wide receiver core, and it seems like Belichick doesn't have a lot of faith in him. He only let him throw 3 times in the first game. And as good as their defense is, I don't care how good your defense is. If it's a bunch of 3 and outs, the Patriots aren't built as an explosive type team. If you jump on them 14-0, 17-0, 21-0, they're not coming back from that because they're not that kind of team. They are we want to play defense, run the ball, don't make any mistakes. So they did what they were supposed to do. It was incredible. They did what they were supposed to do. Like I said, what you do to a tomato can, you kick it down the street. That's what you do. They handled their business. They did what they were supposed to do. They won at home in the cold. And we'll see what you do next week when you play a real quarterback, an MVP type quarterback who's going to be looking for some get back because you went up there when they were kind of struggling in the middle of the year. And we'll see what you do next week. But congratulations to the Bills. One of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. They did what they were supposed to do.
Jamal, it's on you.
I like being from Buffalo, going through these years and not seeing much traction from the football world at all. It's like it's a blessing, and it's nice to even be on this stage, right? To be like looked at as a prominent franchise or a contender. So to see them go out there, to see the Buffalo Bills go out there and win in the fashion that they did, you do have to take into account, like you just said, who it is, but it's the fashion. It's the fashion in which they did it. It's like they went out there and they really stepped on them boys. Like they went out there and they more than handled their business. Like they scored on every drive. They made them look bad, and now they embarrassed the Patriots. They full out embarrassed the Patriots as an organization, all the fans, all of that. They embarrassed them. Like they got to get back for years, just in that one win. In my eyes, it's a playoff victory, and the Bills they schemed well, and it's something that I made a post. I feel like personally, because I do watch a whole lot of football, I feel like that is Brian Daboll's best game as a Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator through and through. When things needed to be made happen, they made them happen. He put people in position, and they won the game. That's my take.
It seems like they really took great joy at sticking it to them. And hey, after the past 20 years, hey, it always feels good to. We haven't really had a nemesis like that in my division, but to be able to get back at them like that, it's got to be a good feeling for them to go and do what they did to them. So congratulations to the Bills for doing what they needed to do. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I was shocked, surprised. The energy was high. Highmark was on a high note all night long. They was definitely in the building. There were some Patriots fans. I showed y'all on Facebook. I was right next to the Patriots trucks, driving them right up to Highmark Stadium. We driving right side by side before the game. So it was really high. Like the experience was phenomenal. Just because it was fan experience day for me. I had a whole lot of fun experiencing it with the fans, and then Bills Mafia showed up on social media, and it was a whole lot of fun. I want to shout out Timothy Lewis Jr. again for being there with me, and the reason why part of the reason why I was there because he asked about it, and it was dope. Great time. They came out and did exactly. And my guy A. Rich says it best, masterfully, just executed. Josh Allen looked like the surgeon that we've become accustomed to. Surgery is the word. He surgically removed any doubts that the Buffalo Bills are the beast in the East. And I get it. You said AFC East. Oh, it's the AFC East. Well, the Bills can't help what division they play in, just like we teased the Dallas Cowboys about what division they play in. But you can't help what division you play in. You have to take care of business. Dallas took care of business. In a division, the Buffalo Bills took care of their division, and the Bills took care of their division, right? I mean, it was close. It was a dogfight. Mac Jones, you mentioned it. I think the Bills had it in the back of their mind. This guy came in here and threw 3 passes and won a football game against us. We supposed to be the number 1 defense. Probably rode that momentum from the first game. A lot of people talk about, well, the second game, they destroyed the Patriots. But I still think that that first game was in their mind. You know what I mean? It's like playing a trio of games. It's 1-1. We can't leave it at 1-1. How many people want to leave a saga at 1-1 tied up? Nobody wants to leave a saga 1-1. So they had that first game in mind at Highmark. It was not a high note the first time, and this time they played a perfect game. 7 touchdowns, no punts, no field goals, no turnovers. First time that's ever happened in NFL history. It goes to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. First time that they've played a Belichick coach team, and they haven't had to punt twice. They haven't had to punt in both games. First time in NFL history since he's been a New England Patriot coach, right? You got to give them props for that. Next week, though, is when the real journey begins. Again, Marcus is right about that. They played a rookie quarterback.
Making his first playoff
start, who I would say is below Derrick Carr as a quarterback. He's below. He's at the bottom 10, bottom 12 of quarterbacks. They rode a great defense and a game plan by Josh McDaniels.
They're a running game.
Right, and their running game that made it easier for them. Next week, you don't get that. Next week, you get a young, fiery upstart coach in Zach Taylor who's ready to put folks on notice. Oh, well, actually, they're not even going to play the Bengals. They're not playing the Bengals.
You got to play the 2-time AFC champion.
Yes, you get to play the 2-time AFC champions, the team that has beaten you in the playoffs. And I feel like the Bills better be on this 2021 playoff revenge tour. Okay, it's the revenge.
I will say, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan next weekend, don't fret. Because, yes, all that you're saying is true. But at the end of the day, their secondary, that back end for the Chiefs is nothing. It's nothing. I feel like we can surgically cut up again. I really do. I really, really do. I feel like it's all going to be game plan. If Brian Dable come with his big boy pants on, they can get the job done. Our defense is going to make things happen. That's going to happen either way.
With no Trey White trying to cover Tyreek Hill.
We haven't had him.
Yeah, they haven't had him though.
You didn't play the Chiefs during that. The Chiefs present a whole other set of problems, and they're actually not just focusing on Tyreek Hill anymore. Byron Pringle had a good game. Demarcus Robinson had a good game. You know what Travis Kelce does, best tight end in the game, and they're running the football. And then on the defensive side, Chris Jones, he presents problems. But, we'll talk about that next week. They did what they had to do this week. We'll be doing a show on that next week. There's a lot of, we ain't giving y'all all the goodies.
Yeah, you can't give you all the goodies.
Can't give y'all all the goodies, man, but they did what they were supposed to do. Shout out to Bills Mafia. Y'all did y'all thing. I expected a much closer game. Everybody who I talked to is talking, 17, 14, 21, 7, 17, something like that. And to come out there and to put up a 40-piece, damn near 50-piece, all the moves we made this offseason were to beat the Chiefs. Okay, yeah. I mean, I could. To me, though, with the Chiefs, you better have some secondary. Now, you have great play as far as at the safety position. At the safety
secondary.
As far as the safety position, I don't know about those corners though. I don't know about them corners. Poyer and Hyde, I'll give it to you. Them corners though, I don't know. But again, we'll get into that. I know the Torch will be doing something on game day where the Bills rise up early, him and Mookie Hawkins and Monster, I know they'll be doing a little something. So definitely.
And Marcus the Alphabets can come on.
I'll be there making people, man. I love it. I love it.
Jamal, you can come on too. Shoot, I don't have no problem with that. You can come on the Bills show too. Why not? And make it a fun, festive divisional round, show. We gotta listen. We gotta do what we do, man. And the only place you're gonna get a lot of this stuff, a majority of this stuff, is right here, man. Right here, Rise Up Family. Put your, you see that hoodie, the shirt. You see the shirt Marcus got on. All right, yeah. You gotta.
You want one of these? Get at me. I got you. Let me know.
All right. Now we got other games.
I know why your hoodie ain't there, Dre.
Why?
You said there was a 4-day weekend, man. Martin Luther King weekend, man. That's why you didn't get your hoodie.
Yeah, shout out.
I was thinking about it, man.
I mean, you and Jamal had a dream. You had a dream that the cop, and I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm leaving that alone. All right. I don't want to get you started. I don't want to get you started.
Hey, first off, you can't wear a Buffalo Bills hat and be a Green Bay Packers.
Here we go.
Right? Look. It's easy. It's easy whenever you got two teams, Mr. Stephen A. Smith. Are you a Steelers fan or a Giants fan? Are you a Packers fan? Are you a Bills fan?
I'll put another Bills hat on just for you. Just for you, sir. Just for you. You know I'm a Packers fan through and through, but I got to represent. Listen, anytime the Bills play, we had this conversation. All right, you know what?
I got to miss.
Fluff it, man. No. I know what you want. Only for you, Marcus Betts. I will say I love the Buffalo Bills. How about that? There we go. Can I say I love the Buffalo Bills? Can I say I love the hometown team? Sure. Why not?
Yeah, of course.
I love the hometown team, man. There you go. There y'all go. For everybody who wants to say that, there you go. I love them. Can't wait. Now, our D-line will get to the quarterback before Mahomes thinks about throwing it to Tyreek. Can't wait. Can't wait to see it. All right. Moving right along, we got other games to talk about. Oh, brother, I think this was the most boring game of the playoffs, though, but we got to talk about it. We got to talk about those Eagles. I'm sorry. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Bucks game. Who did anybody fall asleep?
It was bad, man. But here's a good thing. Here's a good news for the Eagles fans. And being a Cowboys fan, that actually that naturally makes me a mortal enemy to all Philadelphia Eagles fans. There is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Sirianni did a pretty good job considering everything that was going on with them. You seem to have a number one receiver, Devontae Smith. You got an all-world tight end in Dallas Goedert. You might have found your franchise quarterback. I don't know. He didn't really look like much of one yesterday. And you had 3 first-round draft picks. So there is some light at the end of the tunnel, but they were just outmatched. They're just outmatched. Tom Brady being Tom Brady again, carved them boys up. Mike Evans, we got to start. We talk about the Stephon Diggses and we talk about the DeAndre Hopkins and we talk about the Devontae Adams. Mike Evans has 8 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, and he doesn't get the props that he deserves. Brady looks for things to motivate himself. A couple of weeks ago, we had the issue with Antonio Brown being a clown, walking off the field, just quitting on the team in the middle of the game. And he comes right back to Gronk, his old buddy Gronk, Mike Evans. They're running the ball to Keyshawn Vaughn. Like Leonard Fournette's not even out there. Ronald Jones isn't even out there. They're out there with Giovanni Bernard and Keyshawn Vaughn is still running the football. So, but the Eagles, like I said, they got some things to look forward to, in the offseason with their draft picks and the Bucks move on. I don't know if anybody besides Eagles fans picked the Eagles to win that game. So, Brady being Brady, I wasn't surprised at all.
Okay.
I can see the enthusiasm in your face.
Yeah, real enthusiastic about this game, I tell you. Mr. Lewis.
Didn't watch it.
Exit the solo layout. He said, I didn't watch it. That is hilarious. I told see,
and dude, he sounded like
he's the only one that felt that way, man. That game was terrible.
He sounded like Mike Singletary when he was talking about the players, man. Can't do it. Can't win with them. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Listen, Mike Evans had 117 yards and a touchdown in this game. Brady threw for 271. And boring would be the word of the day. Like, that would be the word of this game. Boring. Jalen Hurts threw 2 of those don't do that's in this game. 258 yards. Was the leading rusher with 39 yards. Dallas Goedert had 92 yards receiving. But this game was over before it started. I mean, the Eagles didn't even score until the fourth quarter. It was 31-0. 31-0. Who wants to watch? Dude, I'm talking about.
That's why I didn't watch it.
Just God awful, man. That was the worst football game of the weekend. I'm sorry. Sorry for all you Tampa Bay fans. Yes, the worst. It
was worse than the Kansas City Steelers game.
Nah, Kansas City it was still exciting because Big Ben was. Speaking of which, let's talk about that. Might as well talk about this game. Getting on to a game of more importance. The Steelers and the Chiefs game. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. How many people thought the Pittsburgh Steelers was going to win this game?
My co-host did.
40.
But she's a Steelers fan.
42-21. Organizational moves that need to be made.
For the Steelers, again, they have a good they have some good pieces over there. Najee Harris, I workhorse back, was the best back in the draft. You got a young pup in Pat Freiermuth, the tight end. I think he's going to be special. I believe Chase Claypool can be special if he gets his head out of his butt. But we all know what the biggest discrepancy is with that team, especially after yesterday, and that's going to be who's going to be the next starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And me and Ramona, we gone back and forth over that. Shout out to Die Hard, my co-host on Alphabet's football show. But you got to have a trigger man. You got to have a leader of your team. I think that's the last time we see Big Ben suit up. And I'm not sold on Mason Rudolph. I think they're going to have to go outside of the organ. Mason Rudolph is garbage dumpster juice. Now, I
believe in Kevin Rudolph, the rocker, the one-hit wonder, more than I believe in Mason Rudolph.
Me personally, and she says what happened. She was right on the Najee Harris thing. I didn't think that Najee Harris would get to 24 last year, but he did. I thought there were other teams that should have drafted Najee Harris. The Dolphins with their second first rounder. I thought he would have really helped Tua in Miami, but they let him slip to 24. I think Pickett would be the best fit for them. You get that young quarterback. You tell them, look, we're going to run the football with Najee. We're little short, quick throws to Claypool and Freiermuth, and we're going to play defense. Typical Pittsburgh Steelers football. I don't think Mason Rudolph is the answer, but and then their offensive line has a lot of holes on it. What free agent veteran quarterback would want to go up there? Ben Roethlisberger he was running for his life the whole season. So again, the Chiefs did what they're supposed to do. The Chiefs are starting to kind of get back into the groove of it. Being the Chiefs that we're expecting them to be. They're running the ball a little bit better now. They seem to be looking for other people besides Tyreek Hill. You saw Byron Pringle have a good game yesterday. DeMarcus Robinson, hell, even Josh Gordon got in on the act a little bit, and then you already know what you get with Kelsey, Derek Gore, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon's kind of, he kind of crashed and burned in Minnesota, was injured his whole time with the 49ers, and he's kind of giving them a little bit of juice in the running game. So, the Chiefs did what they're supposed to do, and I'm really looking forward to that Bills Chiefs game next week, I'm amped up for that game.
Jamal.
Steelers. I feel like what I'm seeing with the Steelers is consistent just foolery from their wide receivers. Like they can't get right. It's like foolery. Like they prissy. They don't do like they want to dance and be the big shot man instead of handling business. So that goes for Juju, Claypool, AB in the past. They definitely need a quarterback to get some leadership. Somebody needs to get a hold of the Steelers locker room because there's always something out of that camp. I feel like it's always something. It's always somebody complaining and crying. And with them having the last black head coach in the league, somebody needs to pay homage to that. I would expect it to be the players.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very honest with you. Mike Tomlin. Let me talk about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is not an X and O's guy. He's usually the guy, the leadership guy, the guy who's a leader of men who builds up character, this, that, and the third. But his wide receivers, to me, give off the notion that it's slipping a little bit. That he's slipping. I mean, he's been doing. I'm being modest. I'm trying. I really want to give him as much respect as I can for a guy who, right, for 15 years who hasn't had a losing season at all in his career coaching. But man, I'm starting to really question the leadership thing because these wide receivers is off the hook. They off the chain. They've been publicized. Juju. Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. I mean, these guys, I'm kind of worried.
James Washington
said he was about these guys, man. And then they out there dropping the football. They game is indicative of how their attitude is. Like you're dropping the ball as professionals a little bit with attitude, and then you're dropping the ball when you're playing in the games. I mean, they've been already, being 39. It's tough to be able to throw that ball at 39, baby. A little tough. And then you guys are dropping footballs like it's nobody's business. A big reason why they didn't do better with the performance that they had yesterday. A lot of drops I saw. A lot of drops. A lot of missed opportunities, and then Kansas City took it to him. I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes was looking at Buffalo already this week as he threw for 5 touchdowns like Josh Allen did, 404 yards in this game too. I mean, are we in for a shootout coming up? Are we in for a shootout, Marcus? You think we in for a shootout?
I think we are. I think that, first 1 to 40 wins. First 1 to 40 wins. I think you very easily see 70 to 80 points in this game next week. I really do. So it's going to be whoever can execute, whoever can, those explosive plays. But it's going to, you're going on the road. You don't have Bills Mafia behind you. You got to go to Kansas City, which is a very loud place to play. I think Kansas City. Yeah, but that wasn't the the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Bills in week 1.
That's right.
And we also saw the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Bills too. So, saying that you did well, okay, if you're gonna take credit for the victories, you gotta take the heat for the L's too. I think the Chiefs are going to be highly motivated for this game. They're kind of sitting on the throne as the AFC, 2-time defending AFC champion, and I think that they're going to be highly motivated for that game. Can the Bills win that game? Yes, they got the firepower. You got to have fire. You see the teams that are left in the playoffs on the AFC side, they all got prolific offenses. Bengals got firepower. Chiefs got firepower. Bills got firepower. So it's going to be who can execute the best. Titans not so much, but the Titans can bludgeon you to death, and they're getting Derrick Henry back, and AJ Brown isn't bad. He's not bad, but they can run the ball. They can take that running game with him anywhere. So we're gonna see. A lot of questions are gonna be answered.
Just want to put this up right now. Thank you, Ben. 18 amazing NFL seasons. Great success. I just, you know what? To be honest with you, I'm still a little perturbed that I'm hearing people think that Ben Roethlisberger is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. It bedazzles me. I'm very shocked when I hear that. I get it. He's had some off the field issues, but that has nothing to do with what this guy has done. He's been nothing short of a great competitor. He's had some phenomenal games. He's been very entertaining, worth watching. And I mean, again, 2 Super Bowl rings and 3 visits says a lot. Okay, so for those who saying that Big Ben is not that guy, I would behoove you to think again and actually do some research. Watch some of these games that Big Ben has been in. Look what he's done. Okay, you don't go a whole career without a losing season. And you're not a first Hall of Famer. Not one losing season. Not
playing with one team and playing with one team at that too.
And one team. Loyal. One of the toughest SOBs to play the game. I'd say he's right up there, damn near with Brett Favre, as being a tough SOB to play the game. So, we've been here an hour and a half. I'm surprised Monday Night Madness has been this long. And we just been talking about your divisional games. Again, your divisional winners were the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, obviously, the Tampa Bay Bucks, the 49ers, and the Bengals. And right now, giving you an update, the Rams. I'm watching it.
I'm about to watch it right now over here, man.
I'm watching it while I'm doing the game. Before we get off this joint, I'm watching it. The Rams up 14-0 early. Better watch it. If you get down 21-0 to the Rams, this puppy's over. That defense is good enough. That defense is good enough to lock down and do what they need to do. If they get you up 3 scores. We talk about Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and them boys over there. Von Miller and them, another seasoned vet. You got to be careful. So, we'll see you again.
See ya.
We will see you again. All right. Marcus the Alphabets. Friday night coming up. Friday night. I know you got a show coming up. Let everybody know.
Hey, come and check us out. Me and my co-host, Ramona Diehard. We're going to talk about the games this past week and preview the divisional round of the playoffs. Same bet time, same bet channel. Join the familia. Rise up, family. Let's go.
Let's go. You know what it is. See you later. Tune into the game. Enjoy.